VHSL playoff pairings. Baylor wins it all. The Reds are red hot, and yes, it is possible to fall upstairs. All right, gentlemen, welcome to episode 3.7. Is it, or 3.8? 3.8 of After the Whistle. How's your week? Mine was great.
Great. Reds are on fire, guys.
Reds are on fire.
Good week too.
I quit watching Major League Baseball after they moved that All-Star game.
Why? That's like not liking somebody that lives in Abingdon, not talking to them. They didn't have nothing to do with it.
I don't know. That's just who I am.
The Reds had nothing to do with them pulling that game.
Oh, no, they probably did.
So why wouldn't you watch them?
I don't know. I don't like the Reds.
You didn't stump the Crig on that one.
I don't like
Or the
Reds.
Cubs. If you had a chance to go to Wrigley,
Wrigley
didn't pull that.
I would go. I would go. I would go to Wrigley. Well, that being said, we got a lot of stuff
We
covered.
need a baseball segment.
Baseball, we need to have a, after the strikeout or something here, we need to try that one time. All right, well, before we get started on our last week's recap, we'd like to thank our sponsors, CarQuest Auto Parts, Hurley Pharmacy, Economy Drug, located in the Grundy Plaza, the Wooden Horse Grill, Grundy Auto Sales, Buchanan Therapy Services, Buchanan General Hospital, and BELLACINO'S right here in Grundy, Virginia. We appreciate our sponsors. Thank you for patronizing. All right, well, let's take a look real quick at our last week's recap, and we had some playoff determining games. This segment's brought to you by Buchanan Therapy Services, located in the Grundy Plaza. All right, fellas, last week's games,
I'm trying to bring them up.
take a quick look at them here. Some, I don't know, we would say surprises, maybe outcomes were a little closer than we expected, but for the most part, the games went the way we predicted them. Let's start with the first one here. Radford 42, Big R 0.
We didn't even pick it. We didn't even know they was playing that.
We actually didn't pick that game.
Marion at Landen.
Are you surprised?
Well, let's go ahead and
No,
yeah, we're
we're
going to
not.
cover this.
No.
20 years, 21 technically, but 20 years, Richlands has been in the playoffs. They will not be in the playoffs this year. 6 turnovers, he'll do that to you. 3 fumbles, 3 interceptions. It was all Radford pretty much all night long. So 42-0, Richlands. I'm not sure if they're playing a +1 or not.
Yes, I think they're playing Ridgeview.
All right, well, that could be a good matchup.
You know, you look at Radford too, is a 4 seed up there in Region C. They're going to play Appomattox first round, so
They're done.
you know.
Yeah, Appomattox.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, you know, with a 42-0 win over Richland, is Region C. You know, where's it ranked with Region D? You know.
Oh, you'll be able to tell when you see.
Well, we're going to find
Appomattox.
out in about 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You're going to know where it
yeah.
stands.
But
Well, we know who stands up there in Region C. We know Appomattox is up in there, but I'm just saying, you know.
They're
Well,
big.
yeah.
I didn't
There's
know
a
about
They
that.
scored 90 on somebody, didn't they? 80?
I don't know.
Yeah, they won wise. You hope they get you, don't you?
Hope they get us.
See what Appomattox does with Radford. That'll be a gauge right there. You can be able to take a look at it, but I don't think it'll be like this. Radford's going
I
to be.
just ask him. He knows.
Yeah.
He'll know.
All right, so 42-0 Radford. Next one we had there was George with Grayson. This was a good football
Can
game.
we go in order?
Well, we're going to cover the ones that we got here
gosh.
first of all.
What was it, 7-6?
7-6. But the big story coming out of this was could this be Coach McPherson's last game? Or are they playing a +1 maybe?
I'm not sure.
They finished 3-3. I reckon pretty much all night they was able to avoid punting. I forget who the kid was, but they kept the ball away from the kid. He picks one up along the left sideline, goes about 57 yards, and that ended up being the difference in the score, 7-6. Sounds like Grayson had them right where they wanted them, and a player made a play right at the end of the game.
I don't think nobody expected it to be that close.
No.
It's a good game.
All right, now, what do you got?
I'll go what?
Are you talking about the order?
Marion and Lebanon.
All right, Marion and Lebanon. This one, went pretty much the way we picked it. Lebanon 32, Marion 13. Marion actually, it looked good after a quarter. It was 7-0, and then Lebanon rattles off like 5 straight touchdowns, and pretty much took control of the game and never relinquished it after that. I think it was Aiden Ward had 2 touchdowns for the Pioneers. Hunter Height and Hunter Hurtig and Zach Hurtig each rushed for a touchdown. Hunter Hurst Helmsley, Triple H, rushed for a touchdown each. There for Lebanon 32, Marion 13.
All right, Honaker at Grundy. Shocker.
This one
Didn't think it'd be that bad.
This was a little worse than I thought.
No. I think Honaker brought what, 16 kids? The lowest they've, I mean, probably in years, ain't it?
I can't ever recall them ever having that few kids.
They were banged up pretty good.
Ian Scammell, 116 yards rushing, another solid game for him. 2 touchdowns on 18 carries. But not only him, Ethan Roberts had 51 yards rushing for Grundy. Sage Keene had 82 yards rushing and a couple scores. So,
Honaker kicked the field goal.
Grundy distributed the ball really well. Honaker gets a field goal out of the deal. 21-yard field goal from Nick Goodman. Disappointing season. Nick. Disappointing season for Coach Doug Hubbard there.
Flashbacks here on more.
Well, all right, but we all picked Grundy across the board on that one, so that was we were correct.
Twin Valley at Hurley.
This one did surprise me a little bit. Score 6-0. 6-0 Twin Valley. I was the only one who got that game right.
Here we go.
Oh, right. I got that one right. But no, the thing about that game was neither team was able to move the ball. And that's been the story for Hurley for 5 weeks in a row now. Shut out, just not able to get in the end zone. John Matt Justice had 50-some yards rushing. Xzavier Ward had a solid game for Twin Valley. He got the long touchdown for the Panthers there.
173, right?
The second quarter, 173 yards offense, yeah. So, and they moved him back there. I mean, it's not really a traditional quarterback spot, but he took most of the snaps for.
But he threw a good pass to win them the game. I feel like he threw a 40-yard pass to Colton Compton, put them in the red zone, and it was a nice throw and catch.
Yeah, what was that, 4th and 25?
Yes, 4th and 25 or 30, and it was a game winner right there.
Yeah.
So big win for Twin Valley as far as getting wins against Hurley and Honaker in the same season. Twin Valley going to play a +1 game against Bland, and Hurley's going to play a +1 game against Thomas Walker. Yeah.
All right. Northwood at Patrick Henry.
Northwood, Patrick Henry, 30-13. PH.
No shocker there.
Connor Beeson, 65-yard touchdown run on the first play of the game, and it was all PH after that. PH is interesting. They're one of the hottest teams in the region right now. They won 5 straight games after losing that home opener to Holston. So PH is a team right now that's got a lot of momentum.
And it looks like that wasn't a little fluke either with Holston beating them. I mean, they've rolled off some wins.
I would like to see that game again.
But you can go on ENFHS.
No, I mean, I'd like to see a repeat of that.
Oh, I'm sorry. You can go watch it all day long.
There you go. Very well seen.
Holston and who?
PH.
Oh, PH. Okay.
Go ahead, Coach. Next.
Union at Eastside.
Union 35, Eastside 13. Peyton Honeycutt 175 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns for Union. And the name you usually hear is the Lomax kid all the time. Gets a lot of attention, but they got to work another workhorse back there in Honeycutt. Big win for Union against Eastside. Union had 338 yards total offense. Offense on the ground. And from what I gathered from reading about the post-game interview and stuff, Union I ain't saying they were looking past Eastside, but they were working on what they plan on doing. So this is kind of a precursor. They're going to try to run the ball against Graham. Yeah. That's the game plan. They're going to try to keep Graham off the field.
Well, they got to keep them off the field. If they don't, it's going to get ugly.
So That's what I gathered from some of the comments that were made by the coaches after the ball game.
All right, next one we have Rural Retreat at Rye Cove.
Who's that? I'm sorry.
Rural Retreat.
Rural Retreat. Rural Retreat in a rout, 53 to nothing. Rye Cove really didn't have anything for him. Gatlin Height had 3 touchdowns, caught 1, ran 1, then had a 66-yard punt return for Rural Retreat. So did a little bit of everything for him there the other night. Pretty much from the get-go, this was all Rural Retreat, and that's a team that didn't make the playoff cut, that really had a pretty solid season. And this is what makes you wonder, if we'd have played 10 games, would they have been able to have gotten in? And I think they would have, the way they were playing. The Height kid that scored those 3 touchdowns, he's the one that deflected that pass last week when Q Brooks from Holston completed that pass. That deflected. Yeah, that's the same Q. Yeah. Well, I'm starting to wonder if maybe Trump or these people didn't have something to do with that deflection.
That's a good point.
That's a good point. All right, let's go on here. What we got next?
All right, we've got Virginia High at Tazewell.
Okay, I don't know if I've got anything on that game or not, Coach.
I don't remember seeing anything.
I think they postponed that one. I think it was.
That's right. Tazewell and Graham was postponed last week because of COVID.
Yeah.
My bad. All right, Chilhowie at Holston.
Holston all night long, 35 to nothing. Q Brooks once again, big numbers. This is probably the big story, big takeaway from this is the first outright Hoagahigi championship that Holston has won since 1984. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I may be wrong on this. I think it was Coach Webb that was coaching at Holston at that time. That led them to that win. But
I know Coach Patterson, you know, when he was up there, I remember 2015-16, he was 0-10. And he built that, from that 0-10 up to where it is now. And that's a big hats off to Coach Patterson up at Holston and what he's did in that program.
Oh, yeah. They've been fairly consistent, too.
Yeah.
Last year, remember, we watched them at the Jamboree up there. And you looked at them, you didn't think they were going to do that great, and they ended up having a pretty good season last year. Holston, 263 yards of offense, only gave up 143. Lane Blevins really stood out for Holston on defense with 14 tackles. Just proving once again you got to do it on both sides of the ball. So Holston going into playoffs is at 1 seed, and they've earned it. They've worked hard for it. All right.
All right, we got Castlewood at Tommy Walker.
Castlewood, Tom Walker. Castlewood 55, Thomas Walker 12. And big
shot.
Not really, no. It's a big 1-2 punch. Once again, Landen Taylor, 140 yards rushing on 18 carries, 4 touchdowns. And Jeremiah Allen, 25 carries, 132 yards, 2 touchdowns. Those guys combined for 6 touchdowns. Castlewood's in the playoffs.
It's going to be a good one this weekend.
Oh, I think it is too. I think it's going to be a really good one. Castlewood, 435 yards of offense, the old-fashioned way, on the ground. Tom Walker still struggling a little bit on offense, but they got a +1 game. They're going to travel to the Clift and play Hurley in a +1 game.
And the game of the week, Gate City at Lehigh Gentlemen.
Game of the week.
Lehigh. What?
I don't have anything on that game, Coach.
Oh.
Gate City won, I know.
Yeah, I saw that too. Gate City won in convincing fashion too.
Puts asleep.
All right. Let's see what else we got, Coach. Got any more?
No. I didn't take George with. I didn't pick against McPherson.
I didn't pick George with either. We all went with McPherson.
Are you sure?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
I know he did. He didn't pick against.
Okay, we'll count it right, and we'll give that one to you. All right, so here's the.
I didn't pick Grayson.
Yeah, yeah, we picked Grayson. I did. Yeah,
I did too.
I picked him.
Hey,
Go back to the tape, take a look at it, and you'll see the tape don't lie. Abingdon beat John Battle 35-0. Battle was game for about a quarter there. Abingdon improves 5-0. This is only the 4th time in school history that an Abingdon team has went undefeated. Abingdon 5-0.
I can tell you what else is undefeated.
I don't know. You picked that Jordan from Grayson.
Yes, sir. Oh, I remember picking Pearson. Yeah, I remember.
What'd you say was undefeated?
Saying about that.
I'll tell you something else that will never be beaten.
You're correct with that. All right.
Undefeated.
Undefeated. All right, so that's last week's recap. Up next, we have the Conspiracy of the Week, brought to you by Krigger's Gumball Machine. For the absolute best quality gumballs in town, drop in a quarter and watch them go around. Krigger's Gumball Machine in BELLACINO'S, only 25 cents. Our Conspiracy of the Week involves Timothy McVeigh and the Oklahoma City bombing. Some people say that when that Murrah building blew up there in Oklahoma City, that it was actually a false flag exercise by the government to promote an anti-gun agenda. What do you think about that?
Oh, I don't know about that, but
I don't really know.
I know the fluoride in the water making people ignorant. I know that.
Yeah, well, the communists put the fluoride in the water.
Oh, okay. That makes
sense.
To control the human race.
We're going to control the Americans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, control Americans. Everybody knows that.
I got you.
Everybody knows that. But I will tell you something about the communists, since we're talking about communists. Soccer. Soccer is a communist conspiracy. Did you know that? Your kids play soccer? I didn't think your son did.
No.
You got any family that ever played soccer?
No family. Gary Perkins never played soccer.
Okay. Well, soccer is a communist conspiracy to deprive the American youth of their hand-eye coordination. You see, I mean, think about it. You play soccer your whole life, you can't throw a ball. You can't throw a ball, you can't throw a grenade. Get it? You can't shoot a gun well, you don't have good hand-eye coordination. I'm telling you. That's what it is. All right. I'm just telling you.
Oh, my
it's a communist conspiracy to deprive American youth of their hand-eye
Oh,
coordination.
my land of mercy.
You had me hello.
Yeah.
You let kids play soccer, they lose hand-eye coordination. They can't throw grenades and shoot guns. And now they come in and take over the world.
Baseball helps hand-eye coordination.
Yeah, baseball, football, basketball, all that stuff. But you look at these other countries, communist countries, soccer. They play soccer.
I guess.
All right. Well, that's our conspiracy of the week.
Homers off Krigger over there.
Speaking of that, going back in the Wayback Machine, I got to mention this. I pulled out some old stuff papers the other day, and it was an old Twin Valley High School newsletter, and it was wishing Coach Tester a happy birthday, and it was telling about your accomplishments and stuff, and this is when you was working at Twin Valley.
A long time ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. I forgot you even worked there.
I did for a semester.
Yeah, sure did. But it was
2005.
on there. Yep. All right. Well, that's it for our Conspiracy of the Week. Up next, we have our Big Talk segment brought to you by Wooden Horse Grill, located in Hurley. Check out the fine entrees at the Wooden Horse Grill. Food's so good, make your tongue want to slap your brains out. All right. Wooden Horse Grill, Big Talk segment. Gentlemen, first time at least since back in the 70s, and I don't even know, maybe then.
Since we've been
alive.
Since we've known it.
Since I've been alive.
That's right. Since we all.
Yeah, the BDD will have no team in the playoffs, and it's due to the fact that they went strictly with power ratings this time around.
I feel. Well, what do you think? Shouldn't they do that every time? Shouldn't the best teams be in the playoffs?
Well, they've been going with power ratings.
Yeah,
no, they always took district champions.
I mean, before, but now there's power ratings. Even the last
that's in
4 or 5
Division
years.
2. No, in single A, they go district champions, and whoever second goes.
No, I know, like from 2015 on, wasn't it? It was when they went 1A West. It was power ratings.
Yeah, when we were in conferences, it was, but not now. No, it's back to the way it used to be. You district
so districts automatically in. I didn't know that.
No, well,
I mean, it used to be.
Back up on this. The district champion has not always automatically win, but the BDD has always sent something.
There you go.
Okay, it's more accurate. But this is the first time, I think, since '71, somewhere in that ballpark, that nobody from the BDD will be in the playoffs. And I hate to say it, but it's probably
true.
It's probably accurate. It probably is. The BDD was down this year. Not the standard of play that we've seen in the past. But at the same time, you can attribute a lot of that to low numbers. I mean, look at what's happening with Homemaker. They're beat up, banged up. Honecker's struggling as well with the numbers game. So it's been a rough go, but that's a lot of years of pride and heritage there that will not see a team in the playoffs. So BDD going to be absent from the playoffs this year.
Honecker's not playing a +1 game. They are not.
Honecker's not playing a +1. Everybody in the BDD is playing a +1.
Smart, I guess.
Playoff matchups are decided real quick. We won't talk about who's going to win, but I'll give them out real fast. Playoff matchups are determined. Over in Region C, George Wythe will take on Galax, and Castlewood will take on Holston. J.I. Burton and PH. And then over in 2A, Union and Graham, Tazewell, Y Central. And then up there with the bigger schools, Carroll County and Abingdon will go head to head. So that's
Abingdon.
No, we will in a minute. I just mentioned the playoff pairings. For the most part, do you think this thing went well with this COVID and this short season to be?
They got to play, and you know they're having playoffs, so it's
Best
good.
it could be.
The best.
Your best teams are still in it. I mean, it ain't like it knocked those out. The best teams are.
We'll go back to something like Rural Retreat. I believe if we played 10 games.
That's right. They would have had a chance. You're right.
Yeah. But other than that,
would have been in too.
Yeah.
Ridgeview would have been in too.
Yeah.
That's right.
So
that's true, bullseye.
It is what it is. We make the best of a bad situation. All right, up next we have our Peak Performer of the Week, brought to you by CarQuest Auto Parts, located in Hurley, Virginia. Our Peak Performer of the Week goes to Castlewood Standout. Those boys over ate a lot of mustard biscuits. Landen Taylor, 17 carries, 153 yards rushing. He was 5 of 7 passing for 122 yards. All together, he contributed 5 touchdowns.
Single wing, baby. Single wing.
Well, they've got a great 1-2 punch over there, but his name keeps popping up. So very well deserving. Anytime you put those kinds of numbers up, Landen Taylor from Castlewood leading them into the playoffs. He is our CarQuest Auto Parts Peak Performer of the Week. Okay, gentlemen, up next we have our BELLACINO'S Player of the Week. And this week our BELLACINO'S Player of the Week comes from Twin Valley High School. And let's take a look at it.
All right, guys, we're here with our BELLACINO'S Player of the Week, Mr. Xzavier Ward from Twin Valley High School. He had a big game against the Hurley Rebels this past Thursday. I think he had 173 yards rushing, 80 yards passing, a bunch of tackles on defense, and 1 interception. So big game for Mr. Xzavier Ward. They come away with the W. End up beating Hurley 6-0. Man, talk a little bit about that game.
We scored a couple more touchdowns, but penalties kind of had us going. So then it started snowing, so I was a little worried about the passing game. Coach Ball and I didn't really want to throw the ball none, but I actually did better than I thought. So I got stuck in the quarterback position I never really played in, but ended up doing pretty good. So defense stepped up pretty well. So
hey man, you're a baller, no matter where you get, right?
That's right. Play anywhere.
All right, good deal, man. Congratulations, Mr. Xzavier Ward, our BELLACINO'S Player of the Week.
Let's go.
All right, welcome back to the show. Congratulations to Xzavier Ward from Twin Valley High School being our BELLACINO'S Player of the Week, brought to you by BELLACINO'S here in Grundy, Virginia. Pizza and grinders, or as you say,
hoagies and grinders, Navy beans, Navy beans.
They have no Navy beans here.
We need a commercial with you.
All right. Did you know, brought to you by the Economy Drug, located in the Grundy Plaza. Economy Drug, your hometown pharmacy. Friendly faces. Stop by and check them out. Did you know, gentlemen, the oldest surviving pro football franchise in the NFL? Who is it? The oldest surviving pro football franchise. Who is it?
Green Bay.
See, that's a good guess.
I mean, it's a trick question because people, when you think of it, is Green Bay.
Yeah.
So it could be Cleveland.
That's a good guess too. Actually, the answer is the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona Cardinals. Arizona Cardinals came around 1891. That's the oldest. They weren't called Arizona at that time, of course. They was actually originally known as the Morgan Football Club, and it's been sold and morphed and moved from here and there, but it's the original foundation is the Arizona Cardinals. So what's interesting is they've been around since 1891, and they still don't have a Super Bowl title but they do have 2 championships. They did win 2 championships as St. Louis. The oldest NFL stadium, guess where it's at?
Bengals. Auburn. That's new, isn't it?
It's close. Is that it?
I don't know. That's a good guess.
I mean, Cleveland's is still there.
Lambeau's a pretty good guess too. Actually, the answer is Soldier Field in Chicago. Soldier Field, Bears moved in there in 1971. It was renovated in 2002, so it's kind of like a new stadium. But that place was actually a historical landmark for a while.
They had a pretty decent running back in the day.
Yeah, some
Peyton
guy. The oldest NFL stadium there would be, of course, Soldier Field. And the oldest rivalry in professional sports is, and you guys mentioned the team a minute ago, Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. And they said most of that rivalry generated because the area that they were drawing fans from overlapped. And so the oldest rivalry in professional sports is Green Bay and Chicago. That's our Did You Know segment brought to you by Green Plaza. I did not know those things. I do now. All right. With that being said, we now go to our Hurley IGA Top 5. Top 5 segment brought to you each week by Hurley IGA. Sandwich trays, meat trays, vegetable trays, fruit trays, and the area's widest and best selection of fresh meat. Stop by and see the fine folks at Hurley IGA, located in Hurley, Virginia.
Guys, I mean, again, this is going on 2 years since we've been doing this. Or no, yeah,
three.
I don't know. You can't beat IGA's meat.
So it is. No, speak old toothless one.
And you better get it because they'll be gone before long.
All right.
Army Corps buying them.
700 people in the county.
We won't talk about that. That needs to be our big talk next week. We need to have a whole segment on that, just rant on this stuff.
Why? They just going to dam this place up.
Yep.
We'll be able to, everybody's going to move away. They're going to pay everybody to move away. Then we're going to come back by lakefront property. Ain't it? Well, they buying you all out too. They're buying all of Dismal.
They ain't heard nothing about that.
No, that's what they said. They said
that.
Watch you now. He's like, yeah, they need
heard about
to.
All right, boys. Let's throw our top 5. Coach Tester, you want to take a look at yours?
I'll go to 1A. I'll do mine first.
Okay, you go ahead and I'll go to 1A.
And I had no changes, guys. No changes.
Count them down. I like the drama.
George Wythe at number 5. They're still in it.
Solid.
Patrick Henry at number 4. Royal Retreat at 3. I'm still putting them there, boys. I mean, like I said, 10-game season, they'd be right there. I'm going to keep them there. I'm going to keep them there. Did they make the playoffs?
No. Got bumped out.
Not too smart to put them at number 3 yet, is it?
Actually, it ain't, but go ahead.
All right. And number 2, I've got John I. Burton. And number 1, the Cavaliers from Holston, Damascus Brewery.
The road to Damascus.
That's right.
The road to Damascus. All right. My 1A top 5. I've got Rural Retreat at number 5. They're out of the playoffs. I still think they're one of the best teams in the area. Rural Retreat. Number 4, I've got PH sitting in there. I think they could prove me wrong and really slide up the ladder here. Number 3, I got the Castlewood, the mustard-eating, biscuit-eating bunch over there, the Castlewood Blue Devils. Number 2, the Holston Cavaliers, and I got Burton sitting at number 1. I know, the ratings say otherwise, but I'm going to stick to what I've got.
All righty, for me, number 5 and 1A, I got the George Wythe Maroons.
You changed that.
What? Changed what?
You had Norton at number 1 last week. You've been on that bandwagon. I've been the only one.
No,
he changed it.
I ain't been on no bandwagon.
Holston, I changed mine first 3 weeks ago.
Where's the man's cream?
Wait, somebody dug that stuff
Come
up.
on, man.
Yeah.
All right, I got George Wythe at number 5. I got the Patrick Henry Rebels at number 4. I'm going with Castlewood at number 3. And Jacob Cottle's J.I. Burton Raiders at number 2. And I'm going with the Holston Cavaliers at number 1 by this much.
Yeah.
By 6 inches.
I'm going by big.
It's going to be a tight one.
No, it ain't.
All right. Go ahead.
All right, Coach. You got 2A. This is going to be a drum roll here.
Let's see. Oh, me, I've lost it. All right, 2A. I ain't even got 5. Big R's gone. I ain't even put nobody at number 5.
They could not even going to be generous to you.
No. All right, I'll put Union back in. I'm sorry, Union. You're number 5 this week. The Union Birds.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that.
Ridgeview Wolfpack's number 4. The Tazewell G-Men at number 3. The Tazewell G-Men. The Tazewell Bulldogs at number 3.
Patterson got something going on over there. We don't know nothing
and
about
then Graham G-Men at number 2. And I've rode them all year long, boys, straight to the state championship. The Y Central Warriors. Warriors.
All right. That's kind of interesting.
Got Wise at number 1, but he's always talking about Patron in here.
Yeah, well, I'm going to cast.
They win. I pick them to win.
I know they usually this bunch is kind of outside of our area, but I'm going to show them some love. It's quite possibly the last game of the season, so I'm going to put Grayson at 5.
Well, I thought.
Well, we usually don't.
We
usually don't, but I'm being nice here because I couldn't decide on who to put in there, and I thought, well,
over Union.
I got Union in there. I'm just showing them some love, and I'm going to cast that out to Grayson there at number 5. And we usually don't include teams from out that way. Union Bears number 4, heading into the playoffs. I got the Wise Central Warriors number 3, and I got the Tazewell Bulldogs at number 2, and the Graham G-Men at 1. So basically, what I'm saying, boys, is Southwest District
is better than the Mountain 7. Is what you're saying.
7 right now is what I'm saying.
But y'all argued there one time. Graham's leading everybody in points, so their schedule must be somewhat tough.
If I said what?
You all did the other day.
Oh, we did.
Yes, you did.
All right, number 5. I'm going to go still with the Union Bears at number 5. And number 4, I thought they got left out, was the Ridgeview Wolfpack.
I put them in there too.
Number 3, I still got the Tazewell Bulldogs. Number 2, I'm still rolling with the Warriors. And number 1, I still got the Graham G-Men.
To be the team.
To be the team. You got to beat the team.
What they say. All right, so once again, in 1A, who you got at 1? Holston. You got Holston at 1.
I've had them for 3 weeks at 1.
I got Burton at 1. You got Graham at. I got Graham at 1. You got Graham. And you got Wise.
I got Wise.
Okay. All right. So other than that, we're pretty consistent at least. All right. That'll do it for our IGA top 5. Up next, we have that segment where we try to stump the Crig. It's brought to you by Grundy Auto Sales, located in Grundy, Virginia. Stop by and check them out. They've got a very good selection of pre-owned vehicles at prices you can afford. Remember, always honest, always reliable, Grundy Auto Sales. All right, folks. Each week at this time, we attempt to stump the Crig, and we're going to try it once again. I've got a question here that I've got in an envelope. You haven't seen it, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, neither have I. It has been hermetically sealed, placed in a bank vault, has been under the watchful eye of armed security, and was recently delivered here in a armored truck. So nobody has seen this. I'm going to take a look at it and see what the question is. All right. Attempt to stump the Crig. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. How many holes would there be if people would simply take the dirt out of all of them?
I guess it wouldn't be Earth. We'd be in that dome, if they say, that bubble or whatever. That's all we'd have. We'd be floating in air.
I think we got it.
Nah, boys, you can take all the dirt out and we just end up in China. We're fine. See, boys, you all don't know that.
But where would you put the dirt? There's a lot of holes there.
Yeah, we would put the dirt over to the side and just live in China. Don't you remember as a kid when you did that hole and go to, that's where we'd be.
Yeah.
They live on concrete. I stumped you all, boys, on that one.
Live on concrete, dig to China.
Who all dug in when you was little, trying to go as far as you could.
Oh, I did. I dug that point up here on my arm many times. Did you? Yeah. That
wasn't too far.
I knew it was coming.
It got over his head. You all got me on the MOWER the other day, so you all got me good.
All right, boys. We failed once again to stump the Crig.
China, I should say. China.
All right.
Oh, you all didn't, did you see what Trump did now? What he's going to do? He's going to rebrand his name. He's taking Trump off of everything. Because you know how they're trying to get rid of him and his name and everything? He's putting everything 45. Can't get rid of the number.
Genius, boy.
He's putting it. It's going to be Hotel 45.
Oh, that's pretty smart. Pretty smart.
Be 47.
That's what I said. I said when it's 47. I said, well, he's going to change to 45 and 47.
There you go. Couldn't do that. All right, that's pretty interesting.
You didn't hear about that.
I hadn't heard about that. Like I said, I had pretty much
Anthony Church told me that.
Boycotted all news, boys. I'm just about to give up.
Well, you missed out on that one.
All right.
Said he's going to rebrand his name.
That's pretty good.
That's 45.
Okay, we failed once again to stump the Crig, as we usually do. I don't know about that one, though.
I got it.
It was close. But anyhow, up next we have our Pigskin Prognostications brought to you by McKinnon General Hospital.
Don't hurry, I'm going to procrastinate.
We're going to try to pick each ball game here. Take a look at them, break them down, and see what we got, fellas. All right, the first game on the docket, we've got 1, 2, 3. So we got 6 games here. We're not going to do the +1 games. We're only doing these games. George Wythe, 3-2, taking on Galax, 6-0. The last time they played, GW lost 6-0.
Okay, guys, I thought about this one, and you know it's a big game. I'm still going with Galax to beat them. I mean, to hold them to 0 points the first time. I know both teams has got better, so why would the outcome change? They're both well coached. I mean, it's just, it is what it is. I'm going with Galax in a 6-inch close.
I agree with him. I'm going to roll with Galax. I think they're a little bit. I think they're a little bit better than George Wythe right now. They're playing better right now.
I'll pick. I'm going to go with Galax also. I think they've got some pretty good experience. I'm pretty sure as far as being in these playoff situations over the last few years. So I'm going to go with Galax. I think they've got the edge in this barrel. Castlewood 5-1. Playing Holston 5-1. I think this could be the game of the week right here.
Holston by 2 touchdowns.
This could be. I'm gonna go with Holston on this, but this could be an overtime game. I can see going in overtime. I mean, I really like how Castlewood plays, what they're doing, and I like what Holston's doing. I'm gonna go with Holston, but it's gonna be a nail biter.
I'm gonna take Holston in this one as well. I think if the key to win this game is Castlewood, they got the 1-2 punch. If they will run the ball, keep Q Brooks off the field, they've got a chance to win the game.
You all are waiting to tell you guys, you all run the football, you know. Holston jumps out by 2 touchdowns, and Castlewood's got to play from behind. You know good and well that it ain't going to turn out good.
Yeah.
You all
says they're going to jump out
I'm saying if they do, and they've got the weapons to do it. That's what I'm saying. What did Baylor's basketball coach say after he won? He said his daddy always told him, said he'd lost and lost and lost, and his dad finally looked at him. He said, it's not all about the X's and the O's. It's about the Jimmy and the Joes. And somebody else says that all the time.
That's why you got to play defense, too.
Yeah.
That's why you got to play defense.
And they do. They will. That's what I'm saying. If they jump out,
I agree. It's going to be hard for Castlewood to come back.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
so
you can't throw the football. Not saying they can't. Yeah. I mean, but when you get in this time, it is.
You got to be able to run the football.
And good teams aren't going to.
Well, he can do both. That quarterback can do both.
I'm just saying.
I understand what you're saying, and it could be. But don't you agree? If they get behind 2 scores, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, I absolutely think so. Yeah. I think if Castlewood,
if anybody's behind 2 scores, it's tough.
If you're running the football, that's what I'm saying.
If this game is close at halftime, a point here or there or whatever, Castlewood has the advantage because they've managed to keep Holston.
That's right. And bay.
If they can keep Holston in check, Castlewood can run.
Nobody's kept.
Nobody's been able to do it.
In check.
Well, boys, the other night in that game, I didn't
all
even mention
Castlewood
it.
players healthy because I heard they was banged up.
I haven't heard anything about that.
So,
I know.
yeah.
I know Roller Tree was up 30 on them, and Q beat them. He spotted them 30 points, and it took him the whole game to come back.
Well,
Castle was better than
there were 5 players surrounding him the other night.
So
He was at a lot, was getting ready to get sacked, scrambled, and ended up throwing an 83-yard touchdown pass, which broke that game open. So he's a playmaker. He can make stuff happen. It's going to be a fun game to watch. All right, next on the list we have J.I. Burton and Patrick Henry. J.I. Burton 3-1, PH 5-1. I think it's going to be a good one to watch.
too. I think not playing those games is going to hurt Burton a little bit.
Yes.
I still think they'll come out, but I think it's going to be a tough game. So I'm going with Burton.
Boys, I'm going to call the upset here.
Oh.
I'm going to call it. I'm going to call PH in this one. I think that they've improved to the point to where they've got a lot of good momentum now, 5 straight wins, and the fact that they've played 2 more games than Burton, I think, is going to play a factor in this. So I'm going to go with PH.
I'm going to stick with Norton, boys. I mean, like I said, I do think this one's going to be close, but wouldn't be surprised if either team did win by 2 or more touchdowns. That's 2 good football teams. Good matchup.
Yeah, these are 2 pretty good games.
Yeah,
definitely worth
real good game.
Worth the price of admission here. Union 4-2 versus Graham 5-0. This is the 6th time that these 2 teams have met in the playoffs since going back to 2012. So they're no strangers to each other. They've met each other multiple times.
You know, and Union's had Graham's number a couple times.
They have.
You know, and
That's true.
And street talk out there, Graham's going to be down a couple players. Don't know how many.
Until I know that.
Can't get no confirmed.
I
Can't
go
get no
against them,
confirmation on that.
I'm gonna go with Graham, but it wouldn't surprise me if Union hung in there.
I'm gonna pick G-Men in this one. I just think the fact that it's Graham's got the home field advantage. I think they got a little bit more momentum behind them. I think Union is maybe a year or 2 away. So I think Graham's going to make it to the championship.
I'm going with the G-Men.
G-Men across the board.
Bombers Patron.
So you're saying they're going to be cracking the Patron.
Yeah.
Breaking the label of it. Cracking the seal.
No, we ain't going to do that.
We can. We can pick them.
Which one?
Next one on the docket, we have Tazewell. Well, let's do this one.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at Carroll County 4-1 playing Abingdon 5-0. The only time that these 2 teams have ever, well, I say the only time, the last time they met was in 2003. Carroll County got them, so you can't go by that. But they haven't played a whole lot. How do you see this playing out?
I don't know what
Abingdon big.
I don't know what Carroll County's got, but I like Abingdon. I wouldn't go against them.
I think Abingdon is just too big up front, from what I gather, on both sides of the ball, really.
Man, they're solid everywhere.
Yeah,
they're solid.
And
Abingdon rolls.
And this is what, the 3rd season for was it Coach Amberg? Yeah, the 3rd season.
You know what I figured out today, and I told Mr. Church. Abingdon in basketball and football and all these sports, they're starting to be pretty good. All right, what's happened at Honeacre and Grundy and our area and Ridgeview?
Still longer players.
Migration.
Everybody moving to the lake.
Hey, we're losing numbers. They're gaining numbers. And what's the Thacker kid from Abingdon? He's a Grundy boy.
There's a lot into what you're saying.
But that's what I'm saying. I mean, not just here at Castlewood, everybody. I'm not saying they're all going to Abingdon.
But people migrating in that
area.
direction.
Look at John Battle, how they're doing a lot better than they normally have in the past. Holston, not saying they have anybody, but that might these people might make these people move out to.
Yeah.
It could be all Holston people, it could be all Abingdon people, but I just think it's funny that everybody else is dropping and 81's growing.
I think that's a good observation right there. You're on to something.
Couldn't stump him there.
Couldn't stump him on that one, boy. That's some good stuff.
That's right. You're welcome.
Our last game here, Tazewell 3-2, taking on Wise Central 4-1. First ever meeting of these two teams.
Nervous.
First ever meeting.
Very nervous.
They're a tough one, man. Hey, I've watched them all week on film. They are very.
I'm so nervous about this game.
They're a scary team, and hey, they're fast, athletic, play well on defense.
I don't even know what to do.
Here's the deal: they can run the ball, they can throw the ball, they get you in space.
I'll go to the bathroom.
They get nervous. You in space. It's all right.
My stomach's hurting. I don't know what to do for this game.
Who you got, Coach Tester?
Man, I'm gonna roll with the Warriors, but you know we got to play extremely well. They are talented. They are very talented. Hats off to Tazewell, man. They got a good football team.
Oh, my stomach.
Okay, I'm going to keep
not
in suspense a little bit more here.
Nervous. I don't know which way to go.
Well, I'll tell you what. My observation is this: I think Tazewell is pretty daggone tough. But I do think that the best that the Mountain 7 has is better than the second best that the Southwest District has. So I'm going with Wise in this one.
How you pick Tazewell at #2 and Wise at 3?
Well, I'm calling upset here. For me, it's an upset. For me, it's an upset.
Oh, man, I don't know what to do.
We got to play really good defense. We we can't give up the big play.
They get you in space, what are they going to do?
They get you in space, and they're going to run that power read. They're going to run that RBO and hit that slant.
Oh, gosh, I'm getting sick.
They come down to one pick left there, Coach.
They're going to go empty. They're going to spread the field. And, guys, if those guys get in space, they're tough.
Oh, gosh.
So you think the key to winning this ball game is?
We can't give up the big play. We got to contain it. We got to make them drive the field.
I don't know who to pick. It's going to be so close. I don't know what to do. Wise. 3 touchdowns. Wise.
All right.
I'll go 2 half touchdowns.
He ain't wavering on that.
No.
No wavering on it. Sure thing. Is that a lock?
No, there ain't no such thing. But
all right.
big. Wise big.
All right, fellas. Well, there you have it. Big playoff week coming up. It's going to be interesting to see how things play out. Any comments or parting shots about these +1 games or anything you want to just say? Anything about it?
Well, I prolonged it. Why do it to yourself? Oh, gosh. You could have went home. You could have packed it up and went home.
Okay.
Everybody. But you chose to play. They gave you an option to go home. Just go home.
One more will hurt, man.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, okay.
You're rolling it.
So we ain't picking no +1s?
No, go home. We could have just, you could have went home. Everybody could have had a good weekend.
Good have. Oh, Lord. Here we go, boys. Well, anything else? I ain't going to ask you. All right, until next time, I'm Coach Moore.
Coach Tester.
Coach Krieger.
Reminding you that you can build a man a fire and he'll be warm. He'll be warm for a day. Or you can set him on fire and he'll be warm for the rest of his life. Good night.
Yeah.